Pearl Harbor wasn't just an attack, it was a desperate gamble Japan felt it had no choice but to take. To understand why Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, we need to go back to 1939, during the ongoing Sino-Japanese War. By that time, Japan's rapid advance in China had slowed dramatically. In 1937, Japanese forces were advancing around 29 kilometers per day. But by 1939, that progress had dropped to less than 1 kilometer daily. At the same time, new threats were emerging. In May 1939, Japanese and Soviet forces clashed at Khalkhin in Mongolia. What began as a small conflict quickly escalated into a major battle, where Soviet forces under General Georgy Zhukov decisively defeated Japan. This defeat shook Japanese confidence and revived fears of a possible Soviet attack on Manchuria. Meanwhile, Chinese leader Chiang Kai-shek hoped Soviet support would strengthen China's position. But the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union in August 1939 changed everything. The Soviets shifted their focus to Europe, leaving China more isolated. As World War II began in Europe, Japan faced internal divisions. Some leaders were encouraged by Germany's rapid success, while others feared being dragged into a wider global war. At the same time, Japan remained stuck in China, gaining territory but failing to secure victory. Its forces were overstretched and struggling to control occupied regions. For China, however, the global war created an opportunity. Chiang Kai-shek aimed to turn the Sino-Japanese conflict into part of a larger world war, hoping to gain international support. Countries like the United States and Britain began assisting China with supplies, loans, and military training, although the aid remained limited. By 1940, the situation became even more complex. Japan moved into French Indochina to cut off China's supply routes. This alarmed the United States, which responded with economic sanctions, including restrictions on fuel and metal exports. These sanctions pushed Japan closer to Germany and Italy, leading to the Tripartite Pact. Inside Japan, tensions grew. The army, led by figures like Hideki Tojo, pushed for aggressive expansion, while the Navy warned that a war with the United States would likely end in disaster. Despite these warnings, Japan continued its expansion strategy, aiming to secure vital resources like oil and rubber from Southeast Asia. In 1941, the crisis deepened. The United States imposed a full oil embargo, cutting off about 80% of Japan's oil supply. Without oil, Japan's economy and military operations would collapse within a short time. Faced with this reality, Japanese leaders believed they had only two options: withdraw from China and accept humiliation, or strike quickly to secure resources and weaken the United States before it could respond. Negotiations between Japan and the United States failed. Washington demanded a complete withdrawal from China, something Japan refused after years of war and heavy losses. By late 1941, the decision was effectively made. Japan planned a bold and risky strategy: launch a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet, and rapidly expand into Southeast Asia to secure resources. On December 7, 1941, Japan carried out its surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. While tactically successful, the attack failed to destroy key U.S. assets like aircraft carriers and ultimately brought the United States fully into World War II. In the end, the attack on Pearl Harbor was not just an act of aggression, it was the result of military pressure, economic desperation, and strategic miscalculation. Instead of ending the war in China, it expanded the conflict into a global war that would ultimately lead to Japan's defeat in 1945.